brings up a good question, I think, because I used to work with Travelers Insurance long before I moved up here to start working with the Fool, and I was for a little while I worked in an auto claims department, and so the philosophy there was, let's do all of the hard work on the front end here, investigate these claims correctly, thoroughly, and let's pay what we owe. The idea was that we didn't want to leave these claims outstanding and we didn't want them to go to subrogation, or where, insurance companies start fighting each other because one insurance company says they owe something and the other says they don't. And so then you have this long drawn out subrogation process that involves attorneys and just inflates those costs, and ultimately those costs end up going back to the consumer in the form of higher premiums at some point or another. I wonder with Lemonade. So Lemonade gets a claim, they pay that claim out, and ultimately that responsibility then goes on to a reinsurer. I wonder. I guess I'm kind of wondering out loud here. I just wonder what kind of recourse does that reinsurer have when it comes to Lemonade? Like if a reinsurer goes back to Lemonade and says, "Hey, Lemonade, you shouldn't have paid this claim out," then what happens? I guess that's where really their AI comes into play here. That's where
Right.
that secret sauce
And
really
so,
benefits
so
them.
the AI doesn't just let them, process applications and process claims quickly. It gives them an advantage when it comes to detecting unusual activity or fraud in cases. I don't know. I mean, I'm not AI apparently, but
Of course, yeah, no.
if they've put out a lot of cases on their website where they've been able to detect situations of fraud that human insurance representatives were not able to detect. So there's something to be said there. It does leave it a little susceptible to, if anytime you're paying out claims quickly, there's going to be some element of fraud.
Yeah.
But the AI is really, they're doing a great job of detecting it and still getting people paid on time. So it's a really disruptive model so far, and the early results have been really, really strong. And I'm, if they can translate that to even a 1% of the life insurance market, that'd be a huge deal.
Yeah, and I'd imagine as time goes on that just the system gets smarter and smarter. So I mean that
Mm.
really is certainly a lot of potential there. I can understand why they're trying to gain entry into those additional markets, because really that can help them scale up and give them a lot of capability. I mean, and that ultimately brings more data into their model and makes their AI smarter.